All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on two of the most important tools in any developer's toolkit, Git and GitHub. Seriously, whether you're writing your first line of code or you're a seasoned pro, knowing these inside and out is an absolute game changer. So, let's get to it.
Oh, you know you have. We've all been there, right? That folder just overflowing with slightly different versions of the same file. You're scared to delete anything, and you have no idea what changed between Final V2 and Final V3. Well, that exact chaos is the problem that something called version control was born to solve.
So, here's the plan. We're going to start with what version control even is. Then, we'll build our first project just on our own machine. After that, we'll connect it to the cloud, learn how to work with a team using branches, and wrap it all up with a kind of workflow the pros use every day. Okay, first things first. Before we type a single command, we have to get one thing straight, and it's the #1 point of confusion for beginners, the difference between Git and GitHub. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Git is the tool. It's the actual software on your computer, kind of like Microsoft Word. It's what keeps track of every single change you make. GitHub, on the other hand, is the service. It's the website up in the cloud, more like Google Docs. It's the place you store your project, back it up, and work on it with other people. So one more time, Git is the tool, GitHub is the place. Simple as that. So let's see this in action. For right now, I want you to completely forget about sharing, about teams, about the cloud, all of it. We're just going to use Git as a personal time machine for a project sitting right there on your computer. And the first word you need to know is repository, or what everyone just calls a repo. Don't let the fancy name fool you, it's just your project's folder. That's it. But the moment you tell Git to start watching that folder, it becomes kind of superpowered. It's not just holding your files anymore, it's holding the entire history of every change ever made to them. Now, to manage that history, Git has this really cool 3-step process. Think of it like a safety net. It makes sure that you're always deliberate about what you're saving. It might feel like an extra step at first, but trust me, this is what makes Git so incredibly reliable. And this is the rhythm you'll get into. First, you're in your working directory. That's just you, editing files, business as usual. When you've made a change you're happy with, you use git add to move those specific files into a sort of waiting room called the staging area. Then, when you're ready, you use git commit to take a permanent snapshot of everything in that staging area and save it to your repo's history with a little message about what you did. Okay, so you're a master of managing code on your own machine. Awesome. But the real fun begins when you connect your local project to the cloud. This is how you back up your code and get ready to work with others. And it's actually pretty simple. First, you pop over to github.com and create a new, totally empty repo. Then, back on your computer, you run this git remote add command. All that does is tell your local folder, hey, that new repo in GitHub, that's your home now. And finally, you use git push to upload all those snapshots, all those commits you've been saving. Boom, your project is now safe in the cloud. And now for the really cool part. How do entire companies with hundreds of developers work on the same code at the same time without creating a total disaster? Well, the answer is a concept called branching, and it's probably the most powerful idea in all of Git. The whole idea behind branching comes down to one thing: safety. Your main branch, you'll usually see it called main, is sacred. It should always have working, stable code. You never, ever work directly on it. Instead, you create a branch, which is basically a complete, independent copy of your project where you can go wild and experiment without any fear of breaking the main thing. And the workflow is super clean. You use a command to create and switch to your new branch. Then you just do your thing, code, edit files, and make commits just like you did before. But here's the key. All those commits are being saved only on your new branch, leaving the main branch untouched. Once you're done, you just push your new branch up to GitHub for the rest of the team to see. Once your branch is up on GitHub, you open what's called a pull request, or a PR. This is the absolute center of all modern teamwork. It's basically you raising your hand and saying, hey team, I'm done with this new feature. Could you all take a look at my code? And if you like it, can we merge it into the main project? Sooner or later, this is going to pop up in one of your files. It looks scary. But don't worry, this isn't an error. It's called a merge conflict. It just means you and a teammate both changed the exact same line of code, and Git doesn't know which version is right. It's just Git's way of saying, hey, I'm confused. Can one of you humans come sort this out for me? And solving it is really more of a people thing than a code thing. Step 1 is always the same. Go talk to your teammate.
figure out what the code should look like. Then you just open the file, delete those weird markers and whichever bit of code you don't need, save it, and make one last commit telling Git, all good, we fixed it. So there you have it. You've gone from a solo commit on your machine all the way to a team-based pull request. To wrap things up, let's just cover a couple of essential habits that really separate the beginners from the pros. Literally every professional project has these two files. First is a .gitignore file. It's just a simple text file where you list out all the stuff you don't want Git to ever track, things like secret keys or huge folders full of dependencies. Second is a readme.md. Think of this as the front door to your project. It's the first thing people see, and it should tell them what your project is all about and how to get it running. And this table right here is your cheat sheet for success. On the left, we've got the good habits. Write clear commit messages, always work in branches, review code with your team. And on the right, the stuff you want to avoid. Lazy messages like updates, working on the main branch, or committing secret info. Stick to the column on the left, and you'll be a fantastic teammate. And would you look at that? We've covered a ton of ground. You now get why we use these tools. You know how to save your work locally, back it up to the cloud, and most importantly, how to work safely with a team using the exact same workflow that powers pretty much all modern software development. Look, at the end of the day, you're not just learning a piece of software. You're learning the language of collaboration for developers everywhere. You now have the fundamental key to unlock and contribute to almost any software project out there. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?